Okay, good afternoon. Welcome to Yeshiva YouTube. Iyun to Lean On Simon Kufay and Gimel today. Shulchan Aruch Yomi 173. Talk about Maimim Soim. Maimim Soim we don't really practice nowadays. We don't really understand why you would need Maimim Soim. I'm going to make it very simple for you. The halacha and aleph is Maimim Soim Rishus, meaning Mishnah Berurah says whether you want to, whether you decide to, you could do it. If you don't want to, you don't have to do it. The Gemara also says Mayim Rishonim is Rishus, right? Only thing like Archov or Mayim Achronim, the Gemara records the incident where someone died when they didn't do Mayim Achronim. So Mayim Rishonim is Rishus. We say it's Rishus to do Mayim Rishonim. No, the Chiyuv, right? Or a minhag at least to do Mayim Rishonim when you eat bread. Mayim Saim also seem to be a Rishus, meaning Rishus doesn't mean that you can do it, decide to do it or not. Meaning Rishus means to ask permission. And when you're asking permission, means you should be doing something. If you don't want to do it, you should ask permission of the host. Like when you're coming to a meal, the reason you're supposed to do, I explained from Mayim Rishonim, is that your hands should be clean. If your hands are dirty, and it's not proper etiquette, it's uncouth to come to a meal when your hands are not clean. So what is Mayim Saim talking about? Mayim Saim, I think, is not specifically talking about a case where you ate something messy with your hands, right? Some foods you eat with your hands, some foods you eat with a fork. Let's say sushi or something like that. Most people have a hard time taking the chopsticks and dipping the sushi in whatever dips they're going to dip it in. The proper dip for sushi is duck sauce. But you want to dip it in your garlic mayo, or you want to dip it in your, what is that called? The famous, the soy sauce. Everyone dips in soy sauce. That's like b'diavad. I don't think you should be dipping it. But there are certain foods, French fries, like I can eat French fries with a fork. And sometimes the foods are dirty, they have sauce on them or something like that. So if your hands are dirty, that's what it's talking about over here. Just like at the beginning of the meal, your hands are dirty when you're coming to a meal, proper etiquette. Also, my mem soy, I'm also talking about if you ate a tafshil, you ate a dish where your hands became dirty, either because you have no idea how to use a fork and a knife, you prefer to eat with your hands, or your hands happen to have gotten dirty. So then there's an idea you're supposed to watch my Mepsalim. Of course, don't have to. You could ask for shus from the host. You don't have to, but you should. A person with good etiquette, a person who's kuth, they should ask. They should ask permission to get up and go leave the table and right and go wash your hands. That's part of rishus also, that you have to ask. You're at someone else's house. You want to ask permission to get up from the table and go go wash your hands, because it's not proper to have dirty hands. Um, and the last halacha, where in halacha gimel, where we compare mayim emsoyim to mayim rishon and mayim achronim, bein lahakal, bein lahachmir, the Rama ends off, v'yesh amu she'emsoyim strichen dafka mayim, mashen kein ba'achronim. Mayim achronim don't need dafka water. You can use Sprite or something like that to wash your hands, but just to get off the salt or the sweat. Mayim emsoyim need water, and the Rashal says why emsoyim also don't need water. What's the difference? Emsoyim rachronim. And the Mishnah Berurah knows we really paskin like the Rama, that really you need water, and the reason is that my machronim, right? No one sees you; you're just getting dirt off your hands. So we'll talk about the idea of my machronim. It's such an important thing. It's a chova, right? Really, it sounds like you have to do my machronim at every meal that you have bread before you bench. But Mayim Soim is because of etiquette, just like Mayim Rishonim, about being a kuth person, someone who has good manners. So to go in the middle of the meal and wash your hands off with Coke is not the best manners. It's not good mannered to do that, and you're ruining the etiquette of the meal by doing that. That's why the after has to be water, I believe. Hope you enjoyed today's share. See you on the next one.